Briscoe and Scott, Sports Center AM on this Saturday morning. The Western Conference gave us some highlights on a Friday night. Lakers and Spurs. LA's won 5 straight against San Antonio. But the Spurs are up 3 late until Anthony Davis does that. Big triple on the outside to tie it. And then LeBron's going to get bailed out because he gets stopped at the rim. But Kyle Kuzma's got his back. Said, hey, don't worry, LeBron. I got this. And then LeBron just bully ball inside. Could have been a foul called either way, maybe. Maybe that's why there wasn't a foul. LeBron, a 26-point triple-double.
It's been about 2 months since the Lakers won the title in the bubble, and last night LeBron and AD went back to work, combining for 21 points in yesterday's preseason win over the Suns. Perk back here with us. Stephen A., starting with you. Will you be worried, though, if the Lakers get off to a slow start?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Matter of fact, I expect them to. I wouldn't mind if they do. I have no problem whatsoever. When we talk about load management, is much as I have been profoundly against that over the years. It's with the exception is LeBron James. If LeBron James, for any reason, said, you know what, I don't want to start playing until January. As a league, we should stand up and support him. Seriously. I mean, with the work that this man has put in, it doesn't bother me at all. And so I know he's not going to do that. That's why he showed up there last night. He's going to be ready for opening night, at least to some capacity. But I think that if the Lakers do start off, I'm not concerned at all because not only are they great, they're experienced. So when you look at LeBron James, I think that this is one of the rare breeds that has graduated to the point where he doesn't even need to be questioned about anything that's taking place in the regular season. Everything about him should be measured by postseason play. If this guy decides to take his foot off the gas, if he decides when to amp it up, whatever the case may be, you defer to his judgment. When you've been to 10 NBA Finals, when you've won 4 championships, and when we just finished experienced a global pandemic, the likes of which we hadn't seen for a century, and somehow, some way, when we consider the collapse that we witnessed with the Los Angeles Clippers because of them being devoid of leadership and what have you, although it was nice to see Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Kimmel last night. Bottom line is that LeBron James and the Lakers didn't have that problem. And so I don't think there's anything to be worried about with the Lakers, a slow start or anything like that, because they have the greatness of Anthony Davis, who's one of the top 3 players in the world, and they have the best player in the world, who's the best leader in basketball, and that man is LeBron James. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about.
I don't know what's happening today, but for the second straight segment, I don't know maybe I have a fever or something. I don't know. I'm coming down with something. I agree with Stephen A. I agree, maybe for slightly different reasons, but right on. I'm not worried about the Lakers' slow start at all. Stephen A., let's be honest. The LeBron James teams of the past have often started slow, right? Miami had a slow start at one year. Cleveland had some slow starts, because LeBron's figuring out, how do I get this group to the promised land? And in the meantime, he's 100 years old. He has more miles than anyone on his legs, and he has to pace himself. Now, last year, Anthony Davis came on First Take and told us he challenged LeBron to set the tone on defense. And I think AD was probably right last year, like with a new group of guys in this superstar combination. It's important for your best player to set that tone. And for a lot of the season, LeBron did play better regular season defense than he had in years. But given his age and his mileage, it's, I think, not responsible even to expect him to play defense, for example, all regular season. And sometimes the other guys on the team, even if AD's setting that example, slack off a little bit too when their leader doesn't do it, although Montrezl Harrell plays some defense, some other guys will too. The point is, LeBron knows how to pace himself and knows his body. How do I get to be in the playoffs where when I need to put the pedal to the metal, I still got something in the tank? He's usually done that in the past. This past season, he basically kept the pedal to the metal all year. But I wouldn't even recommend that he does that again. He's signed up for multiple years. He needs to pace himself so he's ready to go when they need him most. And if the Lakers get off to a slow start while LeBron's figuring it all out, no big deal, because when the lights are brightest, he'll show up.
Well, I'm not worried about the Lakers at all. Matter of fact, the only thing I'm worried about is the Lakers coming out and dominating the league. Because when you look at this roster, in my opinion, this is the best roster on paper that LeBron James has had in the last 4 years. And no disrespect to last year's championship team, but when you look at the additions that Rob Pelinka made, I'm looking at this, and LeBron can pace himself. He can take games off and do load management because they have weapons. They have guys that could come in and get the job done and deliver in great fashion. And when I say that, I'm looking at a guy like Dennis Schroeder, who's capable in the regular season, especially is capable of going for 30+ a night. You got Montrezl Harrell, another guy that's capable of giving you 20 a night if LeBron just decides not to play that night. And then you have Anthony Davis, along with Wes Matthews, along with Marc Gasol, along with Taylor Horton Tucker, who keeps thriving, and even Kyle Kuzma. Although I disagree with his style of play at times, although I disagree with Kyle Kuzma at times on how he plays the game of basketball, one thing about it, when he gets hot, he gets hot. So with the Lakers roster, job well done by Rob Pelinka, I'm worried about them coming out and dominating too early.
Oh, I'm sorry, Max. You did. No,
right.
I was going to. I'm sorry, Max. I thought you was going to go.
Yeah, go.
Listen,
Jump in.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried. But Stephen A. Max, Stephen A. and Max, that's how it be. Sometimes y'all get quiet when Big Perk come on here speaking the gospel. Y'all get caught up in what I be saying and loving how I'm delivering this good gospel. And sometimes you just got to fall back and listen. Yeah, that's what it is.
First of all, you know better. First of all, you know better. Secondly, respect your elders. Thirdly, and more importantly, that is factually incorrect, Kendrick Perkins. I mean, the fact of the matter is you do drop a lot of science, and I love you to death. But there are some things that you say sometimes I'll be wondering about you, bro. I'll be wondering about you sometimes.
Yeah,
not most, not all, but sometimes, yes.
I feel sorry for your loss. I feel sorry for your loss because you're not being open-minded. When I tell you certain things,
Hey, LeBron, in all your years, I don't know if there's been a time where you've seen the same opponent in the regular season, back-to-back games, and I just wondered what you took out of that from this experience because it's going to keep happening this year a couple times.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. You know, usually when you have those home-and-home games, you could play a team at your home stadium and then go to theirs the following night, either on a back-to-back or like every other day like today. So this is different. Obviously, you're in town for a few more days, and you're preparing for the same team. So a lot different. But in the sense of it feels like kind of the playoffs. Obviously, the intensity and the way you prepare is a little bit different. But as far as being in the same city for 4 or 5 days, that has that playoff feel. You know, like if you was playing a game 1 and game 2, or a game 3 and game 4 at someone else's building.
And then just what's most important when you get down to that, tie game, half court, possession for possession? You've been in the situation a billion times. So what's the most important thing in that situation?
Get a good shot. Get a great shot, actually. Put yourself in a position where you've been successful in your career or been successful with that team. And one thing that we know for sure is we have a great 1-2 punch with myself and AD who can close out games. And we also have so many complementary guys that can make big shots too. So just try to get in position. Give ourselves enough time on the shot clock where we're not going against the clock and shooting bad shots late in the clock, and go from there.
Dave?
Ron, the other night when you were talking about reflecting on the people that are close to you as you turn 36, you said you like being around energy givers, not energy seekers, and that's kind of how you approach your life as well. Do you think that dynamic, that characteristic helps in this season in particular, and maybe with your roster makeup, guys having that approach because there aren't the things like drawing the energy from that 2000 fans?
Yeah, I mean, we would hope we could take that energy, and then when guys are low energy or guys are feeling a little bit down, then we can have the opportunity to bring each other up. So. There's going to be a long season. It's going to be a difficult season. You're going to have games where you have to give energy to one another, manifest energy for yourself, like you said, without the fans and things of that nature. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you on that.
Kyle?
Just
in terms of getting the urgency and energy out early in the season, where are you guys in terms of just starting a game with the energy that you want every night and getting to that competitive level?
Well, I mean, for us, we want to play the right way, both offensively and defensively. And we're getting better and better every game. We do a great job of watching film and being able to take our film sessions and approach it to the game situation. So that's what we want to do. We come out and we want to, have a defensive mindset to make teams score over us, not put them to the free throw line, try to turn them over, but be solid. And then offensively move the ball, share the ball, play with pace, and get great shots. And if we can do that, we're going to be in a lot of games this year.
Jovan?
Hey, LeBron. Taylor played a season high minutes tonight with KCP and Alex out. I'm curious what you thought of his performance tonight, and then just kind of overall to start the season with how well he played in the preseason.
Well, I think every game for him is another example of a teaching moment for him. I always live by the phrase, the best teacher in life is experience, and he's experiencing some great moments for himself as a pro. Obviously the preseason, he played extremely well, and then you take another step in the regular season is different from the preseason. So he's going to continue to learn. He's going to continue to get the opportunities because he's earned it. And when he gets out there, he just has to play his game and make plays for not only himself but make plays for others as well. He has that talent. So, but we don't mind. I mean, the kid is 20 years old. He's going to make mistakes, and we're okay with him, and we're going to live with that. What person at 20 does not make mistakes? So. But for him, he wants to learn. He wants to be better than he is today, tomorrow, and that's a great thing to have.
Last question, Dan.
LeBron. KCP really since the bubble has been so valuable to you guys in terms of not just the shooting, but his movement and transition, kind of the way he fills lanes and stuff like that. How much is that confidence that's kind of helped him elevate, kind of just knowing his role within this team? What do you think that's been? And then obviously, what was it like to see him go down? And it seems like it wasn't too bad, but it looked a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, his confidence is at an all-time high. He knows what his value is to this team, and he knows what he's about. And what he brings to our team is perfect in his role. A guy who's a catch-and-shoot three-point player, a guy who's a great cutter, great in transition, and also could just get, just a lot of movement, getting defenses shifted because of his speed. And so it works for our team perfectly. So, when you have that confidence in yourself and it trickles down to the team, we know how big of an asset he is. And obviously, hated to see him go down tonight and was just hoping for the best, which it is. It is the best case scenario with the turn ankle, and we should have him back in no time.
Last question, Alfredo.
Well, there it is.
We'll do one more. Kari.
I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me.
All right, Alfredo, let's go.
Alfredo, right. Come on now.
LeBron, in regards to getting Marc Gasol more involved, I know he seemed kind of frustrated, especially in the third quarter. What are some of the things that you guys could work on to get him more involved and get him on the groove?
I just think playing through him a lot more. When we do that, we're very good because his ability to see the floor, pass the ball, he does some special things out on the floor. So, when he's out on the floor, we have to do a better job of not playing much pick and roll with him setting the picks, but more just letting him, kind of play that point forward or that point center position at the top of the key, letting the offense flow through him because he makes